and welcome. I'm Natalie. Let's talk about money. So today we're going to talk literally about money. So how much do you need to save in order to have the retirement account number that you want, the goal that you want? How much do you have to save every month? How long is it going to take? All the things. That's what we're going to talk about today. Remember that if you don't create a plan for yourself, you will not ever get to what you want because you have no plan to get there. While I wish everyone could win a lottery of $1 million or more dollars, it's not going to happen. And so instead, we have to plan for it and we have to set aside money now to have a better future. Okay. So I went at this a few different ways. So I started with my own personal information, and because of everything that's going on in the market, of course, we all lost a little bit. Some of us have gained a little bit back. I'm not back up to where I was before, but again, it's the market, so it's going to go up, it's going to go down. And so when I saw my numbers, I thought, well, maybe other people should look at their numbers as well. So I would encourage you to go ahead and take a look at your numbers and know that even with the mini crash that we had, everything's going to be okay, right? What's his name? Jelly Roll. I'm not okay, but everything's going to be all right. It's okay. We're all going to be all right. So I went through and I pulled a bunch of different numbers. I think I'm going to show you on my computer instead of walking through each number because you'll get lost pretty quickly, because I pulled a lot of data because I wanted it to be realistic. I know that if you don't put a lot of money away each month, I'm sure you know as well, it's going to take quite a bit longer to build up your retirement fund, or you have to be okay with not having a lot in your retirement fund. A lot of people do count on Social Security, and that's okay. However, don't be upset if you can't afford your bills on your Social Security. You probably will need a job. Now, if you can figure in your Social Security into whatever retirement goal you have, then that will help you so that you don't have to maybe save a full million, but maybe only 750,000 or something to that effect. And everyone's Social Security is going to be different, based on their situation, their age, their income, how many years they worked, all the things. So that's a number. We could get an average, but that's a number that, I'm only going to work on averages here. I obviously I don't know your situation or how it works for you. The main idea is that the more you save, the more you'll have. And I don't mean save like put in a bank for 0.001%. I mean save as in put it into a retirement account that's going to earn you a minimum of 10% every year. So we're going to take a look at some numbers and see how far we can get with as little money as possible. And again, I'm going to try to focus on numbers that may be realistic to the average American. Let's go take a look. So first, I wanted to find out what is the average retirement savings balance by age, because I only know my balance. I don't know the average balance for most adults. So this is the search that I did, and Edward Jones, this website came up and gave me actual numbers. A lot of websites just gave, it's best to save early and start early. Yeah, we know that already. What are the actual numbers? So when I scrolled down, it kind of walks you through what you should do. But this is what I was most interested in, are these numbers here. Average retirement savings by age. So most of the people that watch my videos are between 35 and 54. There's some that are 55 to 64. So this range right here is what I'm looking at. Now, I will point out, 35 to 44 average is 141,000. 45 to 54 is 313,000. I ain't got nothing near any of that. So I'm down here. I have a little over 80,000 saved or in a different funds. So I am not average, apparently. I am below average. I think because there are people that have been very diligent about putting money away and whatever, so they're on the high end, which brings the average up. is what I'm hoping anyway, because I hope I'm not that far behind, because I'm 48. I'm supposed to be in this range. I am not anywhere near that. Not anywhere near that. So that is a little scary. But this is what I wanted to know to figure out what our plan should be from here. So again, my average watcher is actually the highest range is this middle range here of 45 to 54. And so hopefully that's not discouraging to anyone. So there's a few different ways to approach what I was looking at. So if I take just the very minimum of the people that are under 35 and they've got 49,000 saved, hopefully you have 49,000 or more saved by the time you're 35, hopefully. But hey, not all of us do, and that it's just real life. But what I would recommend you do is take your amount that you have saved, if any, and put that into, of course, the Ramsey calculator. And so I'm using my numbers here in terms of age for 48. I would like to retire when I'm 62. And I'm going to use 0 here because anything you have saved more than 0 is going to be a benefit to you. So let's start off with 0 here. Okay. And if we do 0, and we'll start off with the minimum. It's not a minimum. The minimum would be 0. That would be the minimum. But what I think is a fairly low monthly investment of $500. If we did $500 and we get an average return back of 10%, which is the standard return on, for example, the S&P 500, you would have, in 14 years, you would have $181,000, basically $182,000 saved. That is not enough to get you very far in terms of retirement. However, hopefully in retirement, you would continue to save. And so this wouldn't just dwindle down to nothing. It would continue, to build up because you are still going to save, hopefully, some money. Now, this can be difficult because if you get to 62 and actually retire, you don't have income coming in other than maybe you have Social Security. And so I did a video a while back where the Social Security, the average Social Security payment was approximately, I believe it was $3,600. And so if you're able to live off of that and just continue to save $500 from that $3,600, maybe you would be okay and you'd be able to continue building this number. I don't know. Now, what happens if we wait a while? Let's wait 3 years and go to 65 instead of 62. That brings us up to 266,000, so a little bit more reasonable. What happens if we have to wait all the way until we're 70 to retire? What happens then? Now we're getting into some money that can actually be used and be lived on, okay? Again, because this whole amount isn't going to all of a sudden be eliminated when you turn 70. It's just going to be, you're going to chip away at this in terms of you're going to have income coming out of this amount when you are 70, when you turn 70. Now let's move back to 62, which again is my goal retirement age. And let's say we have more money to put in at this point. So instead of 500, let's see what 1,000 would look like. Now we've already jumped up to 363,000, basically doubling obviously what the $500 was going to do. Now, if we wait until we're 70, not 40. If we wait until we're 70 and put in $1,000 a month at, again, average of 10% return, we're almost at $1 million. And so that's what we want to see. Because when you retire, the purpose of retiring is not having to go back to work. And if you have to go back to work and do a part-time job or something, that's not a real retirement. Maybe you enjoy your work so much that you just can't stop working. That's fabulous. And, you can retire when you're 70. Okay. Most of us are not there. Most of us do not love our jobs so much that we just can't quit. If I had $5 million in my bank, or not in my bank account, in my savings account, my retirement account right now, I would be fine with quitting. I would be fine with that. And I would do what I love, which is crafting and seemingly now making videos, because seemingly now I want to make a video every day too. So until we get there, we're going to have to save. So saving $1,000 per month, if you start off with a zero retirement plan at the age of 48, you do have to work until you're 70 in order to get to $953,000. Okay. Now, what happens if we change this number? Let's change both these numbers because this is pretty dramatic what I'm about to show you. If we change that to my goal retirement age of 62, and let's change this to $1,500 a month, which is what I'm trying to get after because of my $1 million goal that I have. If we do that, we're at $545,000 in your account. Now, this is if, again, you have zero investments currently, you put in $1,500 a month, and average 10% annual return on your investment. You'd be at $545,000. Now, what if we have what they say is the average investment or average savings? Let's say we have $49,130. Let's go there. That'll help us because that'll boost our return by quite a bit. If we already had $49,000 saved and we contribute $1,500 per month, we would be at $743,000, which is much more helpful. Now, let's say we choose an age of 65 to return instead of 62. Now we're over $1 million. So that's what we want to see, is over $1 million in your retirement savings when you retire. Now, of course, if you have very little monthly expenses, like you own your home, you don't have children or a spouse, you live in a low tax area, meaning you don't have big property taxes, all of that, maybe $1 million isn't necessary. Maybe you can live off of $500,000. But keep in mind, whatever you put in your retirement account is going to grow. So start your retirement account as soon as possible, as early as possible. Put as much as possible into that account so that when you want to retire or you feel like maybe now's the time to retire, you could just go ahead and do it. You don't have to think, oh, I have another 5 years I've got to save in order to, come away with the money that I want. You don't have to do that. You can do it if you've started soon, started early, put enough in each month, and have a plan. You have to have that plan. You can't look at this and know that you need $1,500 a month, but don't set up the automatic withdrawals or the automatic transfers into your retirement account. You have to make it automatic so that you're not counting on yourself to make those deposits into your retirement account. That is the biggest difference that I think I made. Well, first I got for reals about it, first, step one. But then I made the deposits automatic. So I have my $800 a month automatically going into my retirement, and I have my $1,000 per month automatically going into my car fund, my car savings. You have to make it automatic so you don't have to think about it. So this was a look at the numbers, all the numbers that I looked at. So you can see the amount that you put in is obviously directly related to the amount that you can bring out. This is all at a 10% interest rate, and these are the different ages that I was looking at. Again, my ideal retirement is going to have to be 62 because of the amount of money that I want in my account. So, this might be helpful for you if you just want to take a screenshot of this. And, this is as of today's market. Obviously, in a month it'll be different. But you can always go on the Ramsey Solutions website to find the retirement calculator and figure out your specific situation and figure out what you need to do in order to get to the plan that you want. Okay? If you only have a $500 to put in every month, it is what it is. That's what you've got. And if you're already, 50 years old, you've lost a couple years, it is what it is. You want to see what results you can get by how much money you put in. This column is one of the most important, but this column is perhaps the most important, because if you were 28 instead of 48, you got 20 more years to put money away. So I just wanted to take a look at this for my own personal knowledge, but then I wanted to share so that you all can know you don't have to be a millionaire in order to become a millionaire. You have to be smart about your choices, put away money every month so that you can make it to the $1.4 million. The other website for what, I don't remember what this was, Edward Jones, they do also have a button that says find a financial advisor. And so maybe that might be beneficial for you as well. And remember to invest in yourself today so you can make a difference for others tomorrow. I thank you so much for stopping by. Please do give the video a big thumbs up. Leave a comment down below. Be sure to subscribe. When you subscribe, you should hit the bell so you know when the next video comes out. I thank you so much for stopping by. Y'all have a great one.